With the release of Marvel Rivals, we are now seeing a lot of good things about it. Amazing gameplay, amazing design, amazing fun from all different types of content creators. But there is one major thing that the actual community is complaining about, and that is characters need to be nerfed and buffed. So with that, let me go ahead and give you my top 5 Marvel rival characters that are overpowered and that need to be changed. So with that, let's go ahead and get into it right now. Okay, so starting off the list is this motherfucker here. I am very annoyed with the fact that he's just a flying tracer, and then his ultimate is literally to a point where it's Soldier 76 plus one of his actual abilities is a very weak Reaper main. It's so annoying of the fact that this guy can revive with the actual, team up ability with Adam Warlock and how much damage he does as a general shooting aspect, and also with the fact of his aimbot ultimate. That aimbot ultimate is also extremely overpowered, where it wipes out multitudes of DPS and support. Even sometimes with certain tanks have certain issues with staying alive. So this guy, in my opinion, needs a major damage reduction, and he really needs to get to a point where it's actually more fair and more, I would say, more, and I know this is probably gonna piss off a lot of people, more of a challenge to learn this guy. Now, I can understand why people hate this character, but to be honest, with a lock-on character and the fact that she has 2 ways of getting away, not just by floating away, but also having a double fade, it could be really to a point where she could do a lot of damage with her actual primary shooting. And I can see why people hate the fact that she's so overpowered in that aspect, because it really doesn't take too much to play her either. The fact that you're just literally holding I want to say right click or left click, because I'm on PlayStation, literally the R2 button, and then you're not really doing too much. It doesn't require aiming. I think, in my opinion, her primary damage needs to be, I would say, changed a little bit. If not, I would say try to do a lot more, in a sense where her secondary should be switched to a primary, and then her primary should be her secondary but has a cooldown. But that's just me on that one. I think that would give her a lot more ways of being more skilled, and a lot to a point where she doesn't feel like she's overpowering almost a lot of DPS and support players. This fucking guy. Okay, Eddie, I'm gonna need you to do me a favor and stop being the best tank in the game. It's fucking weird. The fact that his actual health is 800, and I believe when he actually puts one of his abilities on, it gives him another 100 health. I would understand why that would be a thing, because him being a tank character, that's most likely needed. But literally, it goes to a point where he's probably the best tank in the game. I think second to I would say characters like Hulk. I would say the other ones are pretty good to play, but a lot of them are not as strong as Venom or Hulk on many different levels. I think it kind of gets to a point where he needs to be nerfed, in a sense of his actual damage. But at one point, I could also see why he's majorly overpowered, because his damage is very, very high with that. But here's the thing with him being a tank. He goes close in so much to a point where he's targeted highly. So for me, I think he's overpowered because I said the damage that he provides, the amount of damage that he puts in. I think that needs to be a little bit changed to a point where he can just tank a little bit more instead of doing damage. I would rather see that than him, being a full-on DPS and sneaking behind. No, I would rather see him more doing his role as a tank. This piece of shit. Okay, so this guy needs a major nerf in his ultimate and his damage. I should not be all the way to 2/3 of my health gone from a body shot. That's fucking weird. And his ultimate gets to a point, it's so overpowered that if he teams up with Nat, she can actually shoot the after image and do a lot of damage as well. They can manage to clear out a room without using any type of skill. Like Hanzo actually takes some type of ability where you actually have to aim. It doesn't feel like you're actually aiming with Hawkeye. With Hawkeye, you actually can do fake shots to the body, and then somehow it will one shot a support or one shot a DPS. Sometimes it will get a tank to half its health, or probably even like one, if lucky enough, just like at least 2/3 of his health. But with that, I think he really needs a major damage reduction. A bow and arrow user should not be doing this much damage, especially when you have the use of a sword and doing a lot of damage with that sword, and also using your ultimate where you're trying to shoot that after image and you do damage to the person in the process. That does not help in any type of aspect. That does a lot more of damage than good. I think he needs a major actual nerf to a point where they can make him a lot more skillful than what he is right now. This is the most overpowered motherfucker on the fucking list right now. If you're gonna tell me that he isn't, I cannot take you seriously. He is just as powerful as Genji was in Overwatch. If you're gonna tell me that Genji was not, then I don't know what to tell you. Maybe you were playing a different game. But the fact that this guy can do so much damage and get an overshield because of it, and the amount of damage that he can do can literally go to a point where he is wiping out almost 2/3 of the fucking team. If he's lucky enough, probably get out almost 5 out of 6 people from the team if one of the actual other players are staying alive. Most likely it's going to be a tank. The damage that this man does, especially when you have a counter, like for instance you have a deflect, and then when you get that, you start building in speed, you start building in defense, get an overshield, and then your ultimate does so much damage with that. And on the side of that, you have a quadruple jump. That is so overpowered. I think those things need to be majorly changed. I think he needs a major change with not his kit, but the amount of damage he's doing. The amount of damage he's doing is absolutely ludicrous, and I'm just looking at it because a lot of people don't do too much damage. In my opinion, he needs a major nerf. And what's weird to me is that a lot of people are going to say, oh well, he's not highly played. That has nothing to do with why he needs to be nerfed or buffed. It has more to do with how much damage he's giving out, and he's giving so much damage that it's not even a joke. So in the comments below, let me know what you think about this list. Let me know what you actually think is the most overpowered character in Marvel Rivals, and if they need a nerf. Also tell me any type of changes you want to see in Marvel Rivals when it comes to the characters. As I said, these nerfs need to happen for me. It's really annoying when I see these type of overpowered characters. But with that, definitely subscribe to the EHG community. Definitely turn notifications for when we get new streams and new videos set out. Definitely join us on our Facebook group, our Discord channel. Make sure to go ahead and check out our merchandise and to support us on Patreon. But this is Nico from the EHG community. Stay tuned for another video. And remember that there's always something amazing on the horizon.